We are back. President of Brazil. Yeah, Brazil was great. It's not a place that tends to have a huge community that like meets up to celebrate this kind of stuff, conventions, VTubing, all those things. But the event went really well. There's a good number of people there. A lot of people were very thankful that myself and a few others came out because it's rare that if anyone does an event there that they even pull any guests at all to be able to show up. And I was like, well, that sucks because there's a lot of you. And I did the event for free. I wasn't, looking for payment or anything because I feel it's a bit unfair to try and accept an appearance fee from an event in a country where their currency versus like our dollar is just wildly different. I just think that's not great. Obviously you should get paid for your time. So when you can take an appearance fee or whatever, like you should. But if it's not competitive at all, right? Like I just don't want to take the fee, So I just did it and it was a good time. I take payment of cute girls. It's true. There were so many girls. Hey, Joel, as a Brazilian. They were all so nice. They were all so nice. I thought we would need more translation assistance and everything, but actually a good number of them spoke English. So they just came up for the meet and greet and we just spoke in English and it was fine. We had people there on the spot ready to help translate if they needed, but they really wanted to try, regardless, which was great. So yeah, no, I had a really good time. The event was wonderful. I was surprised by a few people where one person is an artist who's done some work for me before, who's done like some thumbnails and she came out and she apparently was on like a 4-hour bus ride to get there. I was like, what the f? I was very, very, very thankful. And I'm glad she won like a little thing that was raffled off too. So I was like, good. She deserves it because she has to like go home after today. It's going to take a long time. But it was cool. It was really nice. It was really, really, really nice. Was that a convention? It's a maid cafe that did their own event. So rather than it being just like a standalone con, it was kind of like a con, like in format, but it was a smaller event. It wasn't in a big convention center. They just had a little venue and they had like one big room and they just did everything in there. It was cool. So I was very thankful to them. I got to meet a bunch of Brazilian VTubers, which is interesting because they have an okay number of VTubers in Brazil, from Brazil, but a lot of them have not really done content in English and they haven't really become known outside of their little sphere. Right. And so in order for people to start noticing, something has to happen, like they're very few, but they came up and I helped out as much as I could, gave like bits of advice on how to exit their bubble a little bit, things like that. It's nice. They were all so sweet. So incredibly sweet. No, Bark was not in a maid outfit. He was in a t-shirt. It was crazy. He was in a t-shirt. My editor Bark is Brazilian and he's very dedicated to trying to help that community, that content community, like do their so it's I just think, he missed an opportunity by not being in a dress. And I think if he was in a dress, he might have helped the community more. And I think he is failing to help that community by not, sticking a little leg out from time to time. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Joel, that's my editor. Wait, Joel, I thought you knew. Yeah, you told him we're the ones to DMs. Bark, Joel doesn't remember ever, okay? This is just because he's a typical man with his man brain. Even if he has a sexy female body, he's a man. He's an M word, okay? And he forgets everything. It was good though. It was a good event. It was solid. So many people. One of the maids came up too. It was the whole thing. There was one person, he posted on Twitter if you want to see it, but there was a guy who made a like 3D modeled figurine of Boris, sanded down, painted it. Like it looks like really well done that he showed and raffled off. I don't accept gifts at events. So I was like, if anyone brings anything, please just like raffle it or something. Like give it to community members, So it was nice. That was one that the artist got. It was cool. And then I was trying to figure out, someone asked a question that I thought was really good because this is something I've been wondering about too. They were asking, like they were just kind of conjecture, right? They were like, what if we did this? What if we did that? And try to get my opinion on some ways of maybe making it easier to get merch down to South America. And I was like, thank God you said this because I agree. Like it's so hard to get merch down to South America and to make sure it gets to people safely and properly and to make sure that it doesn't cost $1 billion because a shirt that costs you $30 in the US, that is so much money for someone in a lot of other countries. And then outside of the product being expensive, that's not the worst part. It's the fees to get it shipped there. Sometimes they're customs fees like when you import an item into Brazil, you have to pay this extra customs fee as well to have it handled. And it's just like, it's just so much. So I was telling that guy, and if anyone else is down there in South America just thinking about it, honestly, people should consider opening companies down there that can accept packages of merchandise and sell it as a third-party store across South America. Now I'm sure certain countries still have a hard time trading with each other down there. It would be easier if it was at least starting down there. But it's a big issue. And I don't know how aware you guys are, but idol culture and idol groups, etc., are so popular down in South America. Exports in general from Japan, like media related stuff, so popular down there, but it's really hard to get the actual merchandise, to get the like get a CD imported, all that stuff. So the only way people get things typically is they either pay a crazy amount in fees to import this stuff, or there will be another third party that will like buy up a whole box of shit from Japan or from wherever, import it, and then sell it again, resell as a third party for like a small profit, you know? So I've been looking to see if there's any like third party down there that would want to do that, where I could like just bulk sell them merch that's maybe just priced a little lower, so my profit is a little lower, but then that person can like adjust up from there a little, you know? No, it's not scalping. No. Scalping is when you buy something at like the full price and then are jacking up the price. I'm talking about an actual deal where I sell it to them at a vendor price. Because normally I wouldn't allow resale of my merch. Like normally my stuff is I sell to you and that's it. No one else is supposed to sell that same stuff resale, you know, to you. But in cases like that, you know, if I can find a good third party, I would consider that, because otherwise I'm asking fans down there to pay, you know, crazy amount. We can, Joel, that was another thing I was talking about. I was talking about what about producing stuff down there too. So maybe not all items could be made down there, but like shirts and stuff. What if I give the files to a third party, you know, a separate merch company to just make a small run of stuff and then sell it down there, right? It really only makes sense for people that have a good audience in the area, but it's just a thought. It's a thought. I think it'd be cool if someone started a company down there that would do the production of these products in like a separate South America only merch deal or something. You know what I mean? Like it would be cool to try and tackle the problem of like global sales and just how hard that all is. I don't think I would personally be able to sell enough merch down there for that to make sense, depending on like, you know, minimums and stuff. But if they were cool just doing a run of like 30 shirts, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Here are the files. Please produce it down there so you don't pay the crazy imports and, you know, all that. But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, I agree, Joel. I agree. It's really hard to tell where people are. Like I could ask chat where you guys are from, and only the people who are willing to type in chat would say something, and that's those who are willing to dox themselves mildly, right? It doesn't capture the actual community, because there are a lot of people that just don't type in chat and lurk. There are a lot of people that they'll buy merch, but they don't even watch streams. They're more so like a clip watcher or from, you know, YouTube in general. And it's so hard to pinpoint like where your community physically is and where your merch buying community is. There's some people that from certain regions, they just don't really buy a lot of merch. It's just culturally like not a big thing that they're going to do, right? So it's so hard to tell. So I think about it, I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to like send these files to a manufacturer down there or whatever, but I would have no idea how many like shirts to make, for example. If they're like, how many do you think you'd sell down here? I'd be like, if I know. I don't know. There's no way to really get that data with what we currently have. So it's all so interesting.